Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to first start by saying I'm really sorry that I haven't posted any videos lately. I've been just really busy with work, and in the last month or so, the weather here in Victoria has just been crazy, and it's been going from 35-degree days to really cold and wet and windy. And as a result, I've had a bit of a cold and I lost my voice for a couple of days, and so I'm only just getting it back now, which has been such bad timing because I've had a few days off, and so I really wanted to film something for you guys while I had a chance. So please excuse my croaky voice and if I sound a bit off. Hopefully this video will still turn out okay. So today's video is going to be a bit different to anything else I've posted. A lot of the other videos I've posted have been tutorials on how to do a certain look or a certain hairstyle, but this particular video is my favorite makeup tips and tricks, and I wanted to share them with you because a lot of these are things that I've sort of picked up over the years and I have found them so useful. And since using them, I sort of found my techniques are better, or I can achieve a better look, or it saved me money, and so I thought that I should share them with you guys, and I really hope that you find them useful as well. So let's get started. So my first tip is making use of concealer colours. Now when I say concealer colours, a lot of people sort of think that concealers are just a lighter shade of your foundation that you can use to cover up, and that is perfectly fine, but concealer also comes in a range of colours, and a whole range of colours that go from pinks to greens. And so my little favourite concealer palette at the moment is this one by Essence, and it's a 3-in-1, so you get a green, a pink and a neutral tanned colour tone. Now a lot of people will look at this and freak out and be sort of like, well, what do I need green or what do I need pink for, because they're obviously not a natural colour on our skin. But the beauty is that with these 3 different colours, you can pretty much create a flawless look. So the green is going to get rid of any redness on your skin. So if you've got red blemishes, or you just have natural red pigmentation on your skin, that it might be from broken capillaries or anything like that, that's great to get rid of the redness. Because red and green are opposites on the colour wheel, they cancel out each other. When you apply foundation over the top of any redness, it doesn't quite cancel it out, and you're always going to be left with a sort of patch of colour that's maybe a bit duller or a bit brighter than the rest of your face. And although it is covered, you still will notice it in comparison to the rest of your skin tone. So what the green does is the green actually cancels out the red. It makes the red not noticeable anymore. So you put the green over the top and then you apply your foundation as you would normally, and it's going to get rid of any of that redness, which is also great if you get redness around your nose or on your cheeks a bit more than normal. So I really highly recommend using a green concealer. The next great thing about these palettes is the salmon or the pink tones, so ones like this. Now the pink tones get rid of any dark areas, and in particular any dark circles or bags under your eyes. The salmon or the pink colour is great for hiding them. You don't want to apply too much light colour over these areas, such as a really light concealer, because it's actually going to accentuate it even more. It's going to drag the eye down, and it's going to make it a lot more noticeable than you would like. So the pink gets rid of this darkness, and it's going to make your eyes appear a little bit brighter. It's going to not make your eyes appear so heavy, and it's going to get rid of any bagginess or dull areas under the eyes. So while different coloured concealers may appear quite scary at first if you're not sure how to use them, they are so great in creating a flawless look, and I highly recommend picking up a little palette like this. This one I think was maybe $5 or something from Priceline, really cheap. They're just creamed based ones, so they're really nice and light on the skin, and you don't need to use too much, and you just dab it on with a bit of a brush, work it in the area, keep it nice and light. You don't want to apply too much to this area, otherwise you might get a bit of an uneven colour, but I couldn't recommend these enough. My next tip, which kind of ties in with concealer and in particular in the under eye area, is never apply powder over areas where you've got wrinkles. If you've got any under eye wrinkles or fine lines, even if they're not really noticeable, if you're applying powder over the top of these fine lines or wrinkles, you're actually going to be pressing powder into them, and in return that's actually going to make them appear bigger. and stand out more. Basically, you want to keep these areas nice and dewy, nice and light coverage. You don't want to apply too much because it's just going to be filling in the wrinkles and making them noticeable. And really the ultimate goal is to cover those wrinkles and to hide them away or reduce their appearance. So I really recommend avoiding using powders over this area. When applying anything to our face, we're normally told to always go in upward strokes, and that way it's going to reduce the effects of gravity. We're not pulling down on our skin, we're not damaging our skin and creating wrinkles or sagginess for later on down the track. But my biggest suggestion for applying foundation is to always go on a downward stroke. And I know this goes against what we're brought up with and what we're told when trying to look after our skin, but all over our face we have really tiny, fine hair. And if you actually apply the foundation against the grain of that hair, you're going to be creating a small layer of foundation along the hair, which is actually going to make the hair more noticeable. When it comes to swatching foundation and testing out different foundations to have a look what's your best shade, and this is probably one that a lot of people know, and really you should know this if you're buying a foundation, is to always check it against your neck and not on your face. Because this sort of area around here is the least exposed to sun, because if you think about it, you're standing up outside, the sun's hitting down from up here, all under here is never going to get a lot of sun exposure, so therefore it's always going to be the lightest part of your body. If you match it to here, you know that your face and your neck and the rest of your body is going to match really nicely, and you're going to get a nice blended look. If you're matching it straight to your face, where a lot of the time that is quite exposed to the sun, it's going to be darker than here, and you're going to find you get that really noticeable line when you're trying to blend it in, and it will be quite hard to blend it in. So always match it to your neck and not your face. Again with swatches, and this is a new one that I've only just recently picked up and I sort of never really was aware, is with lipstick. When you're trying to swatch lipsticks to have a look at the colour, a lot of people just instinctively put it on the back of their hand or on this sort of inside bit here to have a look at the colour because it's nice and light and nice and smooth, and when in actual fact our lips are a completely different colour to our natural skin, and so you want to go for something that's a bit darker. And I actually read, I can't remember where it was that I read it, but this tip has just helped me a lot, because I would swatch these lipsticks in the store by rubbing it on the back of my hand and being like, that's a great colour, it's really nice and vibrant, and I'd go home and I'd put it on my lips and it would be so much more dull. Because my hand is a lot lighter, the whiter colour from my hand is making that pigment in the lipstick a lot more vibrant. Whereas when you're putting it on your lips, because your lips are quite dark already to begin with, you're going to lose a lot of that pigment and it's not going to be as bright. So the best place to test out lipstick is on the back of your fingers. Obviously when you're cold, your fingers are going to be a little bit lighter, but if you warm up your hands, just rub them together and then pop it on, your fingertips are actually a little bit darker than the rest of your skin, and it's a little bit more true to what your lips are. Obviously it's not exactly the same colour, but you're going to get a better result using your fingertips rather than the back of your hand. When applying lipstick, and in particular matte lipstick, you often get a really flat look and it's not very voluminous or very full-lipped. And some people would like that full lip. So the best trick is to make your lips look bigger and more full, is to add a powder to the middle of your lips, to the cupid's bow up here, and to the bottom of your lip down here. And that's going to create the illusion of more roundness, more fullness, because if you think about, say, a balloon, or when people draw a picture of a balloon and there's always that little white section on the balloon that gives the appearance of more roundness and more fullness rather than making it look flat. You're doing the same thing with your lips. If you're adding a bit of shine, it gives the appearance of making it look more full and more round. When trying to get a really nice even line with your eyeshadows, use a piece of tape along the outer edge and apply it by just going along with your bottom lash line. This way you can go all out with the eyeshadow. You don't have to worry about keeping it nice and precise with the lines. And you can also apply your eyeliner this way to get a really nice crisp line. Once you're finished, all you have to do is pull it off, dust away any fallout, and you're good to go. Another one of my tips, and it's one that I highly recommend, is if you're ever using dark eyeshadows or you're planning on using dark eyeshadows, then I always recommend to do your eyeshadow first and then your foundation last. And the reason being is you get a lot of fallout as it is when you're using eyeshadows, but ones that are really highly pigmented and darker pigments show up a lot more. And if you've just done your full face and it's nice and perfect, really nice and dewy, any fallout that's going to land on that is going to be impossible to wipe off. And there's nothing worse than having just done your whole face and having to wipe off sections of it and reapply because you've got this dark sort of mess happening under your eyes. If you're using blacks or charcoals or greys or really dark browns, then I highly suggest you do them first. And then do the foundation after, and that way you're always going to get a nice flawless finish and no fallout under your eyes. When applying mascara, to get a really nice even coat along your lashes, use a wiggling motion, so from left to right, rather than just straight up and down. Going left to right is going to apply mascara to all lashes, and you're going to get a lot more thicker, voluminous look rather than a really flat look. It also prevents any clumpiness and gives a more even texture. Another tip with mascara is a lot of people will find that their mascaras dry out really quickly, and I still have this problem sometimes, but a thing that I have learnt to try to prevent this and to prolong my mascara use is to stop pumping the wand in and out of the bottle. When you're pumping the wand in and out to try to get it nice and full of mascara, you're actually pushing air into the bottle. So every time you pull it out and push it back in, you're putting air in there. So to prevent this, just pulling it out once, or first before you pull it out, twirl it around inside the container so that you're scraping sort of the edges of the container and then pulling it out. And rather than dipping it back in and out, you just pull it out once, wipe off any excess onto a tissue, and then you're going to get nice clean mascara. You're not going to get dry clumpy bits that have dried up because of air you're pushing into it. And it's one of the tricks that I have picked up that has saved me a lot of money, because before I was having to chuck out mascara every couple of weeks because it would go dry, but now my mascara lasts a lot longer. Very similar to the mascara and the drying out problem, I also have this problem sometimes with my gel eyeliners, and again, it was costing me a lot of money to keep replacing them because they were always drying out, and it was just something that I couldn't prevent because you're opening the top all the time, you're exposing it to air, and then eventually it just dries out. But a tip that I come across that I really love, and I find that it has actually extended the life of my gel eyeliners, is storing them upside down. It actually sort of coincides with a tip that my mum always gave me with pasta sauces. If you're using a pasta sauce or tomato paste or anything like that that come in a jar, that you're not going to use all of it at once. If you used a little bit, put the lid back on, pop it in the fridge, and if you popped it upside down, all the contents of the jar actually went to the bottom, or which would then actually be the top, and that way it's creating a bit of a seal, no air's getting in, no bacteria or anything can grow, and it's not drying out, and it lasts a lot longer. And so basically I'm applying the same principle to the gel eyeliner, and having it upside down, the gel eyeliner actually comes to the top of the bottle, and that way whenever I'm opening it, my gel eyeliner is more fresh, it's not drying out, there's no air in there to dry it out or to create any bacteria growing, and my gel eyeliner since has been lasting me a lot longer. And my final tip for you guys today is about false eyelashes. I still am trying to get the hang of how to use false eyelashes and how to apply them perfectly, but there's always the case where one eye will look great and the other won't. But one of my best tips for applying eyelashes is to always start about 1 centimetre or half a centimetre maybe from the edge of your eye. So instead of starting right at the outer corner and going the full length of your eyelashes, bring it in about half a centimetre and start the end there. And the reason that I do this now is because having it all the way down to the very tip or the very corner of your eye, it actually weighs down your eye and it makes it look droopy and it makes it look tired, and you're going to make your eyes appear a lot more heavier. If you bring that in half a centimetre, it's actually going to open up your eyes, it's not going to weigh them down, and you're going to get such a better look. So I hope that you guys have found my tips useful, and I'm really sorry to have had to put you through listening to me and my awful voice at the moment, but I really appreciate you guys watching. I'd love it if you guys could actually leave me some feedback about what your favourite tips are, because I love to hear what other people think. And I mean, these are only what I've picked up over the last couple of years. None of them are original ideas. They're not things that I've made up myself. They're just things that I've sort of borrowed from other people, and I guess they've passed them on for the same reason. So please feel free to pass on these tips to other people and share your knowledge of what you've learned. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to my channel and a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time in my video. Bye!